No, but you said you were freshwater spearfishing. What's the
Yeah,
viz like
so
in the Lake of the Ozarks? Like 3 feet?
this was, I'm not going to say the specific lake, but it was in the Ozarks.
Okay.
It was it was so weird for a lot of reasons. One, no current. No, I mean, obviously no predators in the water, no sound. Like, you know how when you're around the reef, it's just loud with all the
Shrimp and
whatever,
everything. And
fish and shrimp, and there's just no sound, right? Totally silent, which is kind of trippy. And you don't even realize it, how weird it is. But, and then the thermocline was unbelievable. At the top, you're sweating without a suit on. Like it's really hot at the top. I was wearing like a 5 mil top and shorts or something like that. But then you hit the thermocline, and at the bottom, you're instantly like freezing cold. And the viz, yeah, it went from like 3 feet at the surface, and you break through at like 35 feet, and it's clear, but there's no light left. So you really need time down there for your eyes to adjust. So you drop down through it, you get down to the bottom. You try not to hit any big trees, because those are all flooded. They're all damp, man-created lakes, right? So you try not to hit any trees on the way down, and then you just kind of sit there and wait for your eyes to adjust. And it's the big stripers, right? So they'll, at some point, they kind of like come in closer, don't move at all. It was a lot of fun. You can only shoot one fish a day.
what size are the
Got some
stripers?
nice fish.
Yeah.
Got some fish like 30-pound class.
Uh-huh.
They're
Wow.
really good eating, which I wasn't sure about having them in the lake, but yeah, it was a trip.
Were you hunting any catfish either, or just stripers?
Just striper, yeah.
Very cool. I wanted to ask you, let's see, well, how are you rigging up your gun? You know, because with no visibility, there's all kinds of crap in the water, right? Because you're dropping into, like you said, sunken woods basically at times. Did you just have a reel, or did you have a float line?
No, I was using a float line, yeah.
Okay.
And also, like, there's a lot of guys fishing out there on boats.
Yeah.
So, and they're not really used to divers in the water. So, like, I had a float line and a big float up there just to mark my spot up there. But yeah, I actually don't fish with a reel a whole bunch. I did traveling because you didn't want to carry a float and a float line and everything. So I was usually hunting with a reel. But if I have the choice, like if I have the ability to bring the float and the float line, I usually pick that.
So did you ever have any issues with the float line getting stuck in the trees and all that?
No, I don't think I did have any of that sort of tangle.
That's good. I guess if you're dropping down and you're not really searching on the bottom, you're dropping down and staying still, then you don't necessarily.
And a lot of it's just dropping down. You're just dropping blind. So you don't really know what depth you're at, like, until you've done a bunch of drops. And I had some local intel. A buddy was like, yeah, you want to find this depth. And so there was a lot of dives in like the shallower spots where there's a lot of stumps. And then eventually you find a spot that's a little more open and the depth you've been looking for. But luckily you don't drift off of it. So like you find your spot and you come up and you're going to be in the exact same spot every time.
Yeah, I was thinking you could even take like a freediving setup where take a float, drop a anchor it up right there in that spot and just bounce dive on that spot all day long. I mean, whatever, until you shoot one.